a second to see if anyone else jumps in here. All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. Stephen Benoit Jericho here, and we are live for episode 9 of the Hybrid Origins series. Very special guest here with us today via phone call. Drew Gessner, folks, the owner and producer of 3Dub himself. That's Worldwide Wrestling. He couldn't be here in the studio with us because he is out in the Lone Star State for their Stampede Rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed that one earlier, make sure you go back. Once this show is finished processing, I will actually include a link to that show so you can check it out and so you can like and subscribe to Worldwide Wrestling. So, Drew, are you on there with us?
Absolutely, SBJ. What's going on, man?
Good, good. J&W Boss, I see you on there. Give me some feedback. Are you hearing Drew Gessner loud and clear there, sir? Sometimes I'm a little unsure over these speaker phone calls. I want to make sure my guests are heard by everybody listening. So,
absolutely.
So, Drew, great show tonight. I was able to jump in and out of there. As you know, are trying to possibly at someday reach the Worldwide Wrestling plateau area, or be at least in the same zip code. So moving and shaking. So I was able to catch parts of Stampede here and there. It was a great show tonight. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So let's kind of get right into it. I know you've got a lot going on and you're on a time crunch. So everybody knows Drew Gessner and Worldwide Wrestling at 3Dub. So let's talk a little bit about the history of forming it, and maybe a little bit about before. Like, how'd you break into the wrestling industry?
You know, it's kind of funny because we all know that I got a production background, and when I came out of production school, regardless of the fact that I was a huge professional wrestling fan, that wasn't the job that I was trying to land at the time. I got out of production school looking to, join a major production around my city, maybe help out, whatever it may be, but I couldn't land a job, man. I mean, it was tough. 2013-ish. I just couldn't find anything that was booming. So this opportunity came up to be, and it's funny, this opportunity came up to be an intern of an assistant at a wrestling company, actually, that had nothing to do with productions.
Drew Gessner, the intern of an assistant.
Yeah, it was a very interesting. It was actually a paying gig, though, and here I am out of college. I need a job. I have a family, so I did what I needed to do. But luckily, it ended up being a good decision. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, definitely. I heard you made your first million by 2016, right? That's a pretty quick turnaround.
We'll leave those kind of questions for my accountant and all that.
Fair enough. All right, so you go from this assistant intern or intern's assistant, working for a wrestling show, out of the production side of things. What were you actually handling over there?
Hot coffee, hot lunch, notepads, pens. I was basically just following everybody around, man, writing stuff down, fetching whatever needed fetched to make sure that the job could keep going. It was literally one of the lowest spots that you can be in behind the scenes, but I mean, it was a breakthrough opportunity, I guess, for the time being. It ended up taking kind of a crash course. I mean, I was a very interesting position in this company, but I was about to get thrusted into arguably the top position around in the company. So it was definitely a crazy ride, that's for sure.
So is that why you have that, like, it looks like a simple dollar store black ink Bic pen and a beautiful framed placard above your desk? Does that job of being an intern have something to do with that pen? Like, is that a symbol of it maybe? That was part of your job, just handing out pens and...
That was the pen, man.
That was the pen.
That was the pen that Matt 8-Star gave me when I met him, and he said, "Here you go, boy. Here you go, son. You're going to need this notepad, and you're going to need this pen."
There you go. That's a pretty cool little story. So those of you, especially from 3Dub, if you've ever been wondering, just kind of afraid to ask the boss, you're welcome, because that's what I get paid for, to ask those type of questions.
There you go.
So you inked this deal, and it's funny you brought in Matt 8-Star, good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So was it the two of you that got started in the company? So let's iron out the history of how 3Dub actually came about.
All right, so we're in this company that we worked for. It was called IWL, and over time, I had actually become the owner of the place, Terry Leonard, big name for 3Dub as well. He had come to me and asked me to join their board. So I was no longer going to be an assistant. Yay, hey. I wasn't getting any more money, but I was joining the board. But long story short, there came a situation where Terry could no longer run the company. In fact, there was about a 2-month period where we didn't even hear from him at all. And, staff started leaving, talent started leaving, no money was coming in. So it boiled down to a point where what it seemed like it was just me, Matt, and this folder that had all these plans for a new company. Because you got to remember, at this time, Steve, at about 2014, 2015, that was about the beginning of television here in EFED. So there was a lot of changes looking to come with this company, and Matt and I kind of just took these ideas and we said, you know what, if nothing's going to happen here in IWL, then let's take the leap. We were going to take the leap anyways, you know what I mean? So
you already had this notebook of plans for it anyways.
Absolutely. So that was, me and Matt decided to take on the beast, and 3Dub was born.
Was it called Worldwide Wrestling from the get-go, or was it something else before that?
From the get-go. It was, you can tie IWL into the history. I guess you can kind of say that it's like the territory days of 3Dub, because that essentially is the company that turned into, all the assets from IWL, and whatever talent we could, keep around, ended up becoming the first set of talent and all that for Worldwide Wrestling.
So are there any names that we know still, other than yourself, Matt 8-Star, that talent-wise, that may still be around or still be in the forefront of people's memories here, at least?
Yeah, absolutely. I know there is a much broader scale of new watchers and viewers. So a lot of people really won't know unless you dive into the history. But names like Caleb Stone, Darius Carter, a big return tonight at the Texas Stampede, the greatest lucha of all time, Joshua Faulkner just returned, and of course Juice James, Matt 8-Star. Some of the bigger names are still around from that first season's roster.
Oh, that's pretty. That's some good longevity. And Caleb Stone, he's kind of an interesting guy. I don't hear a whole lot from him. I think I hear his mustache talk more than his actual vocal cords.
We were thinking about adding a new category to the Turnbuckle Awards, Greatest Mustache, in honor of the Caleb Stone stash. So could be looking to that in the near future.
3Dub's huge on facial hair. I know that you guys started like a Mount Beardmore or something as well, correct?
Yeah, I think that was brought up for sure, and I would not belong on that statue there, Mr. Jericho.
Now, every once in a while, I wouldn't say that. You've got kind of that pretty boy trailer park combination beard machismo going on. I would call it. It's like a trailer trash chic almost.
Hey, you know what? Anything chic, I'll take. So we're good.
All right, so season 1 kicks off. How was that like? Like you guys are just starting up your company. I imagine it took you quite a while before you started really getting a lot of viewers going and things like that, or did you take off running like right off the bat?
Oh no, I mean it was definitely okay. So when this company started, December 2015, the beginning of season 1, as we got through the season, Matt and myself quickly realized that this company is being ran by a guy that ran the talent and a guy that was recently an assistant, essentially. Do you know what I'm saying? It's it was a tough task. I mean, for sure, but I don't think we've seen the blunt of it until about end of season 2, going into season 3. That's when things started to get real big handfuls.
And is there any particular superstars maybe that help the most contribute to this insurgence and this just sudden skyrocketing? You go from an upstart, and then you sort of I've heard too, season 2, season 3, things really started taking off for you guys. Any particular names that helped boost that you can think of?
Absolutely. I mean, and I'll get to that in a second, but it was crazy, man, because here you are. We started this whole thing up, Matt and I, and it was way bigger than us. You know what I'm saying? And it was hard to these plans to go bigger, go better. It was hard to maintain, and you really needed good talent to help you do that. And we didn't realize that until this. I like what you called it, insurgents, because that's exactly what it was. All of a sudden, the floodgates opened, and there was a plethora of talent from all over the world. The Netherlands, the UK, here in America, Canada, all over the place. It was a little overwhelming, but superstars. The first superstar that comes to my mind, and it should for anybody that was on staff at the time, would be James Black, for sure. I mean, he came in like, and I don't want to be a cliche or anything like that, but he came in like a wrecking ball. He came in and he flipped the E-Fed world upside down. And there was a lot of superstars that came in and was helping him do that at the time. It was a big task, and it was done with him at the forefront, I think. It was an amazing time, man. It really was.
No, I've been in the industry for probably 30 years or so, give or take. I'm being modest. But I had never really heard of James Black until he came to 3Dub. And all of a sudden, he's just thrust, and he's this megastar, like, out of nowhere. Do you think that that's got more to do with the way that you and Matt, booked him? Or, it was just more his personality came out because, the big lights and the big stage were finally on him?
All right, so when the talent scout came to me with the video footage of James Black, in his indie. I can't remember off the top of my head where he was working. You might be able to remember. I'm not sure, but when I seen the video footage, the very first thing that I seen when the light hit him was personality. This dude, I mean, you hear it all the time in the industry. This guy's got it, and when I seen it, I knew it. So
his skin glows whenever the lights hit him. Like I really think it's more than just the sweat glistening. It's before he does anything. It's like he has this sort of
it's an aura.
Yeah, that's the best way. Just an aura about him. Yep, exactly. I know what you mean. Not many people have that. And
that's what makes a big star in the industry for sure.
So I want to cut back just a little bit here because there's reason that you had this insurgence of talent all of a sudden. Like you had to have done something right in order for you to get noticed. You agree? No, don't be modest. Don't be modest. You know you had to be noticed.
I would agree with you. I couldn't pinpoint. I couldn't tell you what it was that made everything happen that way. But yeah, I mean, I can agree with that.
You know, they call it a mix of excitement. These people are finding this new upstart show, doing things a little differently. Because back then, I remember a lot of the show, it was new in general, but the way you were doing things was completely different. And it was catching people's attention.
Right. And like I said, and like you just touched on, excitement for one. You know, television was just coming around for eFed about this time. It's only been around for a couple years at this time. You know, a lot of new, young, hungry talent. That's what happened. And I don't necessarily think it was just here in 3Dub. I think there was a lot of stars that maybe have gotten their start here, but it happened on a global scale, really. There was a lot of companies that were just blowing up with their rosters. It was a good time.
Yeah, you were right in the middle of starting up with the Dutch invasion we had going on. A lot of these, wrestling really hit a peak then, and especially as you mentioned, now Sander Cool, one of the newer guys. I know he is at the tail end of this Dutch invasion, but you guys worked with Dylan Mason. You know, you had Azriel Victor and
Azriel,
Galky.
Shield.
Yeah, a bunch of guys just came in there.
Absolutely. You're on.
Yep. How could I forget about Mercury? Of course. Yeah, so the things kick off there. Early days. There's almost always, a match, a couple matches, a show, maybe a pay-per-view, something like that, you watch it, even though you're producing the show, but then it gets played back and you're watching it, and you have that moment of, eureka, almost like this is it. Like you find your stride. Is there one of those moments, top of your head, without thinking too long, one of those that stands out to you?
Okay, there's a couple. The one that stands out the most, more recently, would be the Big Event 5. Just the entire process of getting there. And I understand that's a lot later, so maybe that's not the answer you're looking for. So I'm going to go with the main event of the Big Event 3. It was a fatal 4-way match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was Corey Heck, it was James Black, it was Matt Eighth Star, and it was Juice James. And it tore the house down. That entire card was amazing. As a matter of fact, everything coming from that year's Stampede going to that big event was just over the top.
That's 4 Hall of Fame names right there, and Absolutely. You had them all early in their careers.
Absolutely. Yep.
So now I know you mentioned TB5, you had TB3. Did you start all your pay-per-views, did you start carrying the same pay-per-views from season 1, or did you change things up as you went along? Like, was there a TB1 in season 1? Is that how you've rolled for everything?
Yeah, that's how that all unfolded, yep, with the big events. The number attached to the big event relates to the season that it's in.
Right.
So
I figured that as much, but I want to make sure everyone else was on the same level.
As far as other pay-per-views, I mean, we tried to keep some of the same stuff as far as programming goes. But events like Gold Rush, Hardcore Halloween, those are other pay-per-views that we've held since season 1.
Yeah, you got to have like WrestleMania. You've got to start having a big main shows, pay-per-views like that, and they almost become iconic. Like, you hear the word WrestleMania, there's no mistaking what company that's involved with. You put, the Big Show or TB, and they automatically know you're talking of Worldwide Wrestling.
Yeah. I think that's funny that you bring that up, because recently there's been talk in the community of people maybe wanting 3Dub to change the name of the big event. Maybe it's a little too vanilla, maybe, I guess, if you can say. Is that what they say nowadays, Steve?
Yeah, I've heard that from time to time, being too vanilla. People like their mods and upgrades and their technology. My opinion, to be honest, I kind of like it because it keeps things simple. Like, your production is great. It's definitely it's the Big Show.
Right.
You don't have to be too gimmicky with things all the time, I think. I'm kind of an old-fashioned guy, so maybe it's just my age speaking. But, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean...
Yeah, I think at this point, it's become such a part of us. And I don't know. We went with the big event originally because we weren't worried about a name. We knew that whatever we would do would catch on because we were going to do it annually. But it wasn't the name that we were worried about. We wanted to make sure that everybody knew that card was going to be the bigger one. So
there you go. Good. And my humble opinion, I leave it. You know what I mean? You can always take and you can add in and subtract in a lot of these sort of minor pay-per-views and special events that come along.
Right.
But you've got to have, those big iconic ones that you can look back into, and, maybe someday you look back at, like, your Worldwide Wrestling Network that people pay to subscribe to, and they have all the classic matches on there. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that I think you should stick with, to be honest, Drew. So, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can always change up some of these other minor ones. But
that's good. Yep, I agree.
So we've got some people in here looking IWA. That's James Seal. He mentioned the same thing. IWA's March Mania pay-per-view. Sander Cool likes the big event. I think Sander Cool, I think you just agree with anything that you say, Drew. So, and then New Breed Universe. Have you seen New Breed Universe yet?
You know what? I've seen a little bit of New Breed.
That's MJ
really
Jones.
Busy, of course. Right, of course. I've been busy getting this pay-per-view all together this past week, but we do the bi-weekly scheduling, so I got a little bit of time for our next show. I was hoping to catch up on some of that.
Very interesting the way they do things over there. I'm more interested in how their characters are built, sort of behind the scenes thing. The show's good and everything, but I like their development. So you get a chance to talk to MJ, you definitely should. James Sargent from CSWA checking in as well. 3Dub is a good product, very very simple and forward with that. So, all right, so we're on season 3 here. That's where you're really in the prime of things at that point. Like you've picked up your stride. You've got these superstars. Things are running for you. And then, as everyone knows, at one point, and it's the same thing with every company, you seem to just hit a bump in the road. Things start going wrong. You know what I mean? Did you have a time like that?
Yes, we had a few times like that, actually. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I say that the Big Event 5 is one of my more favorite moments, because over the course of these couple of years, season 3, season 4, going into season 5, we had a lot of ups and downs. We had been in business for a long time. A lot of people knew us by now. A lot of talent have come and gone by now. And, season 5 was actually the first, TB5 was the first big event that took place in 3 years where nothing negative happened after it. So it was like, yes, you know what I mean?
Good mix of talent, good mix of crew and staff.
Yeah, and it just all came together, and it seemed like everybody was happy. But I personally think that the past 3 years, the past maybe 2.5 years in this industry, a lot has changed. A lot has evolved in this industry. Not just companies, but talent as well have evolved tremendously. Steve, you see it all over the place. Some of these guys, it's crazy to sit and watch some of this. Sometimes I have to just pause it and go, you know what? I can't believe I'm watching that, on an EFED promo. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You get guys like Dylan Mason that just really, they took over our side of things. Like, some of these guys have always been around. They've done these like promo, I don't want to break kayfabe, but promo battle leagues, and these behind the scenes AOL written leagues and all this stuff. So all these guys that are very talented, charismatic, both on the video, which has become, sort of, what the next big thing is. Like these days, it's almost like if you don't do well on video or in voice, you're not going to stand out as much.
Right.
So these guys, your Dylan Masons, and they just continue to evolve. We're seeing a lot of that now, and I've noticed too that you do some cool things where these guys doing their video promos, they jump in during your live shows and take over your Titantron on you when you've got someone in the ring trying to cut a promo of his own, and that's some pretty cool stuff you got going on there.
Hey, look, when somebody needs to say something, they gotta say it.
Yeah, agreed. We keep having that issue too, where we're trying to figure it out. I don't know if you've had any luck, but now and then we have people just hijack our production equipment from, CFT. Have you been introduced to CFT and them?
Absolutely. CFT, I know you've been a busy man. You haven't caught up maybe, but CFT actually debuted in the Rumble tonight at Texas Stampede. So
in ring?
Yeah, we've had. Yes, he did. In came CFT to the Stampede Rumble.
Here 20. We've opted to not allow him to be in mutual combat. We like to keep CFT in his suit and tie over here at HWA. He scares me.
Well, he showed up with his trunks, and what happens from here with CFT and 3Dub, who knows? But he's here. But yeah, I've definitely had some talks with him for sure.
Good. We've put together, our relationship has been great over the last couple of years or so. Well, I can't say great. It's been spotty. But we've able to form this alliance, and a lot of it stemmed with you and I working together behind the scenes. Then we ventured over and we started bringing in these other e-feds that some of them kind of seemed like a little intimidated by 3Dub until they got to start hanging out and noticing you. And now I think that we've set up a pretty good talent pool. So I don't think, in the future for a long time, 3Dub's going to have to worry about talent leaving and not being able to replace it rather quickly. So you're in a good spot right now, I think.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's another thing that I was kind of touching base on with everything kind of evolving in the industry. It's great to see that you can go from a situation maybe where you never maybe want to talk to somebody to talking to them every day. So that's a great thing, I think, in this industry, that relationships can grow and build, and that's exactly what we all need. Everybody out there listening that runs a company, that's exactly what we need, man. We all need to come together. I understand that not everybody has the time to check out everything, but you do have the time to support, so we can all do that.
It takes point nothing to sign in and click the like button and maybe leave a comment, and you can pop in and out of people's shows,
Absolutely.
Yep. Another big thing, I always try to push it on your page too, but there's always at least times of like almost stagnant, like most of the work is coming from the production team that's on the page, and not everyone taking the time to get in and support each other and comment. So negative emojis, negative comments, positive things, all in character on people's walls. It's all part of showing support. So if people... So I'll use Devil Dog, good friend of mine, right? If he gets on and he spits this great promo to his arch nemesis, which, what's going on? Drew Gessner tried to video call me there, and he got cut off.
That was the cheek, I think.
Yeah, he cheek dialed me.
Am I here? Am I still here?
I still have you. Yep. So where we're going here, anyways, is someone throws out this, great promo. That it's deep, it's meaningful, done well, and then there's no remarks, no comments on it, no likes or thumbs downs or angry faces and all this stuff, anything. Then people are seeing that is like, oh, maybe I'm not doing a good job. Maybe no one gives a shit enough to watch. So why should I go out of my way and put forth the effort for this page talking to you people if you're not going to comment, if you're not going to even put an emoji on there? It's like, why bother putting that effort if it's not being received, at least in this e-fed? And where if you do that over on another show, the place could explode and people are loving it and you're fighting back and forth, and it gets, even if it's bad publicity like a CFT or a DTM promo, those guys sort of a little risque at times, but they get people in certain areas yelling at them, even if it's out of character, but whatever, they're getting reactions, and that helps drive us to keep going. So again, where I know I'm long-winded, but I'm a talker. That's what I do. That's why I'm here. So you on your page for those 3Dub members that take the time, and every single person on that roster should, in that group page, all should. You should be on here watching your owners, your producers' origin story. And you should be on the 3Dub page and supporting each other and help driving this. You know what I mean? That's your home. We hear this hashtag We Are 3Dub. This is our home. Call to action. Prove it. Anyway.
I like it. I like that.
But Raymond is here. I didn't realize you're there, Mr. How do you pronounce it? Shandor?
Oh, that's Remy, man.
Remy,
that's
yeah.
My boy, Remy.
Yeah, he's on here. I don't think I've seen Remy on one of my broadcasts before. So welcome, Remy.
Remy, he had a long night tonight, but I think Remy, he showed what 3Dub has been lacking of Remy, if that makes sense. I think there is a bright future for that man right there. Let me just go ahead and say that as the president here. I just want to make sure that's known since he's listening.
So I've absolutely noticed as well. So I remember Remy, Cruella, Vlad coming in, and I never really knew who Remy was. I had seen his character. I see him in matches now and then. But this season, the end of Season 5, the start of Season 6, I was like, oh, shoot. Here's Remy. Where has this guy been? You know what I mean? He has blown up, and exactly the same thing I'm talking about. You see Remy's promos on there. He's throwing down. Make sure you're jumping in there. Everyone should be trying. You see who the top guys are. Everyone on the bottom, you should be doing the same shit and trying to do it better than Remy. He's one of those guys that are up there. Remy, Chris Harris, those are your goals. That's who you should be shooting for. You should be trying to do that, but better.
So Remy, actually, when we signed, now look, my memory is a little blurry. My vision might be too at times, but I think it was Season 3 that we signed on Remy when he came in with Vlad. And I don't want to sit here and say anything negative about Vlad, because that's my boy. But I think them two may have been holding each other back a little bit. I think it was probably for the best for both of them when the Nightbreed decided to go their own ways.
And I remember he wants to do better, wants to grab that rung. Shop of Horrors. What's the 80s movie where they're like drag queens and it's a musical. You guys not hearing? Apparently Remy says that people aren't hearing very well. We're at like 41 minutes. I know you said you had about an hour, Drew, so we all know right now, because we all follow 3Dub, we all know where you're at. Texas Stampede, the whole nine. What's the future hold for 3Dub?
I get asked that question a lot, SBJ, and I have the same answer every single time. As long as there is interest in 3Dub, there's going to be a future. And if there's a future, I can guarantee it's going to be good. So if you want to know what's coming next, just keep your eyes peeled and keep watching our product every other week, Thursday nights.
Fair enough. That's the best way. You want to know what the heck is going on? Open your eyes, follow the page, follow Worldwide Wrestling on YouTube, and you'll see. And that brings me to another point. I keep wanting to pound these things to your roster because I pay close attention. Communication has always been something that I keep hearing. There's communication this, bad communication that. It's not the staff's job to fill you in all the time. You've got to ask the questions. You've got to jump on the page and pave your own way in this industry. You want to have spots on the shows. You want to shots at titles. You want to know what's going on with storylines. Follow the page. Watch the shows in entirety. Get on there and promo. So, no one carried this. No one told the whole story or wrote the whole story of James Black versus Devil Dog, except for James Black versus Devil Dog, and they just sort of ran with it. You've got to do shit as talent to help push yourself. You've got to create your own brand. Make yourself known. You don't want to be the next James Black. You want to jump above the star maker, and you've got to do your own thing to stand out. So I don't want to hear this poor communication in 3-Dub bullshit moving forward from here. 3-Dub roster. Figure it out on your own.
Yeah, there's a reason why Dylan Mason became Dylan Mason and James Black became James Black. And Juice James became who he is in 3-Dub, and same with Matt 8-Star and Devil Dog. I mean, these guys get to this point for a reason, and that's hard work and dedication. And another thing is, the great thing about being in this generation of life itself is that we have technology, and there are these chat groups that are created when discussions are had back and forth. And once something is typed into that message, it will never go away.
Oh, you can scroll.
You can always look back to find what has been discussed as to what is coming up. I understand it's tough sometimes, but there's opportunity. I know that my team talks to people. I know that I talk to people. We don't do it all the time, obviously, but I mean, we let people know what's going on, and if you know what's going on, then you should be able to carry out the story. That's basically what you're saying, so I'm agreeing with you.
Yep, and if you are finding yourself being too thinly stretched in multiple e-feds that you can't follow storylines, what do you think you should do, Drew? Limit the amount of e-feds that you're on. If 3-Dub is your home, 3-Dub should be your base, and then maybe a couple others. That way you can follow your storylines and know
is lying right to your face.
It's impossible.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, it's real tough to do.
Yep. All right, so I won't keep you too much. I know you're busy. You got to jump on a plane here shortly. Where are you flying to from Texas? Where's Drew go now?
I'm actually going back home to Cincinnati. Going back home for a few days. Little time off after Texas Stampede.
Sounds good. A little landscaping to take care of over there, I heard.
Yeah, it's rough over here.
All right. Any parting words from Drew Gessner? I know I jump in and I throw down because I care about 3-Dub. I have for a long time. I've never shied away from that, even when I had other shows that I've been involved with. For whatever reason, maybe they see you guys as the big bad wolf, whatever it is. But I've never shied away from the fact that I'm close with Drew Gessner and Matt 8-Star and 3-Dub. So I'm passionate about it. That's why pointing the fingers at you guys, 3-Dub, and many of you are part of the HWA roster as well. So I want to make sure that point gets across to all of you. So again, if I'm a little bit too forthright and whatever, then so be it. Block me, but it's because I care. Parting words from you, President Gessner.
You know, you don't frustrate me at all with your comments. I mean, I think you're right, and we can't shy away from that. A lot of those things have been said about 3-Dub for a little while now, and all I've got to say really is, we've been around for 6 years, doing our thing the exact same way, and I don't see us changing very much from what our core aspects are, and we may be a little different, but we like the way we do things. We love our show. We think we have one of the best shows out there. So, we love each and every one of you, though. We don't want to be painted as the bad wolf. Wolf maybe, but not bad wolf. Okay, so, but yeah, this industry, man, I'm very passionate about it. If you know me, you know I care an awfully lot about this. So if you're out there doing what I'm doing, or you're out there doing what FBJ does, my hat goes way off to you, to my furthest extension that I can do, because I know what it takes, and we just gotta come together. We're a coalition, man. We gotta make this happen.
That's what we're trying for. And Remy just says thank you, Drew. Remy Liking, he's been there since season 3. He's getting a shot to, and he's taking it, and he's staying humble. It seems he's been on the chat today, checking the broadcast out, supporting you, Drew. So it looks like you possibly